going on, everybody? Welcome back to another breakdown. UFC Vegas 103. Back at the fucking Apex. I mean, I just don't understand how the UFC doesn't see these banging fight nights like UFC Seattle and return to the Apex. It has to be bad for business, but I guess they know what they're doing. If you're new to these, my name's Lucas Smith. Am I right or left? I think left, maybe right. Is Rohan. Rohan, how's life, man?
It's going well, man. Pretty busy today. Got a lot of work to do, but we have to make some time for this breakdown. A great card, honestly. A lot of fun fights. Should be a lot of action. Two women's fights that we really don't have to say too much about. But other than that, I'm very excited for this card. How you doing, my bro?
Are you a misogynist? You don't like Montana De La Rosa?
I'm sorry, I can't keep going on about it, man. These two women's fights today, man. They just hold zero significance in anyone's lives. But anyways, we'll get to those when we got to get to
them. My boy Dean in the chat. Dean saying you guys go to Syracuse. Yes, that is correct. Rohan's out in LA right now. He's living life.
Yeah, technically still Syracuse, LA program, but yeah, I'm out here, enjoying the weather, unlike you.
Yeah. Actually, surprisingly, it's usually like -5 degrees. Today it was like 50, which was crazy.
50, damn, that's improvement.
Oh shit, he's saying he's coming next year. He got early decision a few months ago. Yo, Dean, come say what's up.
Let's go.
Come say what's up. But yeah, UFC Vegas 103. Solid card. Like, there's some good fights. It's gonna be a lot of violent fights, but at the same time, we have a Cody Brundage main event. I'd rather slit my wrist than watch that. So, yeah, not a lot more to say. Let's just get into it right here and right now. Here we go. First fight of the card: Kape Almabayev. That's the main event. What am I talking about? Charles Johnson versus Ramazan Temirov. This should be the co-main event. Why the fuck? Why this is the first fight in the card is absolutely ridiculous. I hope they change that around. This is a really tough fight to call. And for a second, I was thinking about taking Johnson at plus money, but then you watch Temirov more, and he's a fucking beast. But at the same time, the tail of the tape does not look good for him. He has a 7-inch reach disadvantage, 5-inch height disadvantage. We keep seeing Charles Johnson just take down these guys that are high level. Sumu Darji. It was a very close fight in his last one, but he ended up getting the job done. Knocked out Josh Van. That was very impressive, despite how short notice it was. That Maksum fight, very impressive. A lot of people were high on Maksum. Temirov, he's been on a crazy winning streak between the regionals and now knocking out CJ Vergara. Obviously, that's not a name to be proud of per se. I mean, he got a UFC win, but that's a lower level flyweight. I think he's really, really, really good. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good matchup for him, considering the height and the reach. Is he going to be able? I think he'll be able to get in. But I feel like Charles is going to be able to snipe him with that 1-2. Also, Temirov's cardio not really tested at the higher level. We know Johnson is not going to slow down for 15 minutes. It's tough because I really do think Temirov is legit. I think he's the real deal. But it's just like, this is the worst. What the fuck is that noise? This is the worst matchup they could probably give him. I don't know. This is tough. Temirov's going to wash him in round one. It'll probably be close to a finish. You know what? I'm going to side with Temirov. I think it's going to come down to round two, like a lot of these fights, where you have a guy that's cardio isn't really tested compared to a guy that is. But I think Temirov hurts him bad round one, maybe even gets a 10-8. And then it's going to be up to that round two. I think Johnson wins round three. It's just who's going to win round two. I think it's going to be the early round two work of Temirov, and then we'll slowly see Johnson take over in the latter half of the fight. But I'm going to go with the overall damage. I think I'm going to go Temirov here. It's really tough. But give me Ramazan Temirov in this one by the slightest of margins. Probably will stay away from the betting perspective. What do you
got? Wait, just before I go, can you hear me okay? Because I just put my AirPod in, but usually the audio kind of fucks up. So am I good?
It's kind of shit. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of shit.
Bro, I'm telling you. All right, hold on. I'm going to take it out.
Okay. You're muted.
All right. I'm good?
Yeah.
My bad. Just wanted to test it out. But anyways, yeah, I like the breakdown. But Charles Johnson, man, I can't get over how impressive he looked against Josh Van, a fight that I fully expected Van to win. I thought, Van was in that higher tier of the division. But, I mean, Charles Johnson finished him, again, beautiful 1-2 down the pipe. He's very accurate with his striking. I feel like he can be one of those, kind of all over the place type of fighters where He's not really committed to the striking all the time, and when he does, he kind of falls in love with it too much and can leave himself exposed. But I mean, he's been looking a lot. He's been looking a lot cleaner recently, especially in that last fight. And I just think, look, when I watch the tape on Temerov, of course he's a great prospect. He's got a lot of good wins under his belt. The CJ Vergara one stands out, good win there. But just watching that fight specifically, like a lot of those exchanges on the feet was just Temerov swinging his overhands, just putting his head down and swinging blindly. And I just don't think, like, obviously CJ Vergara, you can kind of get away with doing that because he's a similar stature. Like, he's not really got any physical advantages over somebody like Temerov, and Temerov doesn't really have to worry about the ground game at all. I think Charles Johnson has not only, I mean, we see the tail of the tape, the height advantage, the reach advantage. I think he's the more technical guy on the feet. I think he's been looking better recently, honestly, in that department. And if the fight goes to the ground, which, I mean, Temerov doesn't even look to take the fight to the ground too much anyways, but if for some reason it does go to the ground, I mean, who do I trust to finish it down there? Is somebody with, you know, the submission game of Charles Johnson off of his back. Obviously, he's not one that's going to finish you with arm triangles or anything from top position, but he does know how to maneuver his way out of dangerous positions on the ground. And I think he has just the overall ability on the feet to put together a better 15-minute performance. So I'm going to say damage and just accumulated damage over the fight, and just the cleaner shots I landed on the Johnson side. So I'm going to pick him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue it. I wish they gave Temerov somebody different, because I think he could really score a knockout. He's really good. This is a tough one. We're gonna really see. This is gonna be the real test for Temerov. If he beats him, man, this guy could do some serious shit in this flyweight division. I'm talking future top 5 fighter. But this is the test. I'm going Temerov. He's going Johnson. Very close fight. Let's move on to the next fight on the card. They got to ban women's divisions. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Montana De La Rosa, Luana Carolina. Go ahead, bro. I don't even know.
It's just a really bad fight. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I think this is if you want to make some money on this fight, go to decision or split decision, because this is going to be a split decision. But man, I mean, what can you say? Like, what is there to say about these two fighters?
It's a banger.
No. Look, if I'm being honest, I think that there's obviously what Montana De La Rosa is going to try to do is going to take the fight to the ground. Going to look to take the fight to the ground. That's where she operates better. But Luana Carolina, actually, if you look back, she has solid takedown defense and the better striking in this matchup. So I'm just going to say damage over control in the judges' eyes, Luana Carolina. But your guess is as good as mine. This is a pick 'em.
Yeah, I don't know. I really, again, there's certain fights. When it comes to high-level women's fights, I will really sit here and break down. This fight, I have no fucking idea. Montana De La Rosa was supposed to be a good, solid grappler. And then she went out in that, I think it was the JJ Aldrich fight, and just didn't grapple. I put money on her in that fight, too. And she just didn't grapple. Then she beat Andrea Lee by split decision. I mean, it's just like, Luana Carolina's on a 3-fight winning streak, but at the same time, against who? 3 bottom of the barrel flyweights, and that's saying something. I can't really get a good read on Carolina. I'm going to side with Carolina, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't give a fuck, to be honest. Let's move on. Next fight on the card, Lucas Almeida versus Danny Silva. Another one that's kind of tough for me to call. These fucking ads, I can't. Jeez, Tapology really sold out. Lucas Almeida, Danny Silva. It's tough because we really don't know how good Danny Silva is. I mean, he's just been in wars. He had that Contender Series fight against Angel Pacheco, who was fighting a weight class up, isn't the best of fighter regardless. Went to war with him, won, clearly, but it was an absolute war. And then that fight against Josh Kulabau went to a split decision, in which could have gone either way, to be honest. Here's the thing about this fight. The one thing about Danny Silva is that he can get hurt. We saw in that Pacheco fight, he was an absolute war, but he got hurt once or twice. And you don't want to get hurt against a guy like Lucas Almeida. I think Lucas Almeida can knock out Danny Silva. I really do. He's got the 1-inch reach advantage, pretty similar tail of the tape, obviously. Looked really good in this last fight against Timmy Kwamba, although it's Timmy Kwamba, it's not really saying much. Got knocked out by Feely. Not a lot of shame in that. Feely stepped back, caught that right hand. It was a beautiful knockout. Got choked out by Pat Sabatini. Not a lot of shame in that. Finished Rosano, looked good in that one, and then before that was on the regionals. He's got a lot of power. That's the one thing about Almeida, and I think he could maybe knock out Silva here. Silva's tough as fuck, but man, he's taking a lot of shots. Another tough one to call. You have the dog in Silva. It's going to be in his face for 15 minutes. Well, first of all, I don't think he should be this big of a favorite. It says on Tapology minus 190. They have him up to minus 220 at this. I can't get behind that. It's going to be a closer fight than that. I guess. I don't know. It's tough because I don't think Almeida more UFC experience. This is a tough one. I don't know. Who do you got?
It's a very tough one, and I mean, Danny Silva, like that performance against Josh Culibao, it was pretty good for UFC debut, and obviously got the split decision. But I mean, his style is just, I think that's just who he is as a fighter. Like he's just gonna come forward. He is okay with eating a shot to land, two more, and that's just how he does. And obviously, but for me, actually, I'll just go to my notes here because I don't know when we're doing these breakdowns. Sometimes I don't even fucking look at the notes I write down while I'm doing tape. But I do think that honestly, watching the tape, especially the recent tape, I trust Silva to put more pressure on him in the wrestling department. Let me start by saying the line is a little blown now. I don't know why. I don't know really how it got this wide, especially just given the similarities in the way these guys like to approach their fights. They're just both going to be, fighting in a phone booth. Neither guy likes to back down. Like I can really just see the two of them standing in the middle of the octagon and trading heavy shots. But at the same time, I feel like Danny Silva, he does have the wherewithal in a lot of his fights to just, initiate the clinch and try to apply some wrestling pressure. And, Almeida is not really a guy that invites that all the time. And, his style is just very striking heavy. I think he is one that may be more prone to fading as the fight goes on. Like I don't want to make that assumption, but just given what I've seen from Danny Silva, especially how he turned it on a little bit, I think later in the Culibao fight, like I think I trust his cardio a little bit more too. So I don't like the line at all. But if I'm just gonna say, like obviously the power is a worry on both sides of this, but I think the wrestling and the endurance might get him over the edge. So I'll take Silva, but not a lot of confidence at all.
Yeah, not a lot of confidence here either. Although I think I'm going to go Almeida. I just think he's fought the better opponents. Yeah, and if you look at his two losses, like these are not losses to be ashamed of. Like got caught against Feely, got subbed by Sabatini.
But I think like Silva has maybe as much or more power than Feely. That's what worries me a little bit. Like I don't know.
I disagree with that. He's just more of like a cardio volume guy. You disagree with that?
No, I think the way Feely fights, and he's a lot cleaner of a fighter. The way he caught Almeida was a lot cleaner than Silva.
Feely hits hard, man. I don't think you should judge off that last fight against what's his name.
I guess that might be
very in and out. He was able to avoid a lot of shots. Feely didn't really hit Costa clean. I don't think you could.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't think we could really MMA math that. I hear you. There's a reason he's minus 220. From a betting standpoint, I mean, it's got to be Almeida all day. I don't know how you can take Silva that big of a favorite. I'll go Almeida, but I don't know. He's the side, but I don't know if I want to put money on it. It's a very, very close fight. Let's move on. Next fight on the card, we've got Andrea Lee versus JJ Aldrich. I mean, a tiny bit more exciting than the Carolina De La Rosa fight.
Not really.
Not really. Although I think Aldrich actually has solid hits. She was in a good fight with Veronica Hardy in her last one. It was a very entertaining fight. It was a very close fight as well. And she kind of she was winning in the striking exchanges actually, and was just getting held down by Hardy, I believe. Or am I thinking the other way around? All I remember was a close fight. I didn't do tape on that yet, but I remember it was a very close fight. And honestly, Aldrich was in it. She had her moments. She beat De La Rosa. She beat Liang Na, one of the funniest fighters in the history of the UFC. Lee's just on a horrible losing streak. She's getting worse every single fight. She's had a long career in the UFC. She's 36 now, but older than that in fighting years, which is saying something. I just think it's Aldrich. It's just going to be youth here. She's 32, but she's got some quick hands, and I think that's all she'll really need here. Am I going to lay minus 200 on JJ Aldrich? I'd rather kill myself, but I think she wins by decision.
Yeah, I would pick JJ Aldrich in this fight, just simply based on the fact that you can't side with Andrea Lee at this stage in her career. 36 years old, 5 losses in a row. And I think you said it, you nailed it on the head, bro. She is getting worse with each fight. And it's not like but Viviane Araújo, like, I mean, she's never been like, the best, loss to have, but still unanimous decision. Macy Barber, I actually remember that fight. I thought she had a case in that one, but still lost and looked a little worse on the ground. Natalia Silva got demolished. Miranda Maverick got demolished. And then Montana De La Rosa, a fight that I think I picked her to win, if I remember correctly. It was a long time ago, but still looked really bad. And I mean, JJ Aldridge has looked better in her last few fights. I think she's trusting her hands a little more. Obviously, I think her takedown defense is always going to be a question, but I don't think Lee is in a stage in her career where she's going to exploit that at all, to be honest. So I think Aldridge has what it takes to keep it where she wants and put more pressure early and late, honestly. I think I see maybe even a unanimous decision. I'm going to be bold and say unanimous decision.
That's not really bold, to be honest.
No, I'm joking. I was not being no. I do think, but honestly, just more reasons to pick JJ Aldridge than Andrea Lee, no question. So I gotta go with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Aldridge unanimous decision as well. I agree. Let's move on. Next fight, we've got Douglas Silva, De Andrade taking on Jean Castaneda. First of all, Triad saying best UFC weekly breakdown on the internet. Damn right. We appreciate that very much. This fight, I get the line. And actually, Castaneda is even bigger of a favorite than it says here. Minus 230 is like minus 275 now. I get it. Silva de Andrade 2-3 years ago, you're nuking this money line. But honestly, he didn't really impress me in that John's fight. Looked really, really stiff. Castaneda is just going to be younger, smoother. He's had some good wins in the UFC. Kyung Ho Kang, that's a good win. Kyung Ho Kang is not a bad fighter. Wayne Gaffarov, not a bad fighter. Miles John subbed him. Good win. Lost to Daniel Santos. Daniel Santos hasn't fought in a fucking minute. He hasn't fought in like 2 years. I remember he's really good at shoot the box. He got caught with a knee. Santos is good. You don't take a lot of shame in that. And then in his last one, lost to Daniel Marcos, another very high-level striker. Good takedown defense. He's had some good wins. Silva's on his way out, man. This guy's a fucking just ball of energy. He's something else, but you can only be a ball of energy for so long. He's going to turn 40 soon. That Johns fight, he just didn't look too impressive to me. I like Castaneda here. I think, I don't know if he gets him out of here, but I think he wins. I think he wins decisively. Give me John Castaneda.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to land a finish, but I do think that he's got no excuse really to lose this fight. I mean, look at the level of competition. Daniel Marcos in the loss in his last fight, but if you watch back the tape, I mean, it was pretty close. I know unanimous decision, but it was close. Like, he tried to do what he could in the wrestling exchanges against the fence to just apply some pressure on Marcos. But again, like you said, the takedown defense. You're muted.
You're talking about Silva de Andrade and Johns, right?
No. I'm talking about Castaneda and Marcos.
Okay. Because I was going to say the Silva and I can't fucking speak. The Johns fight was actually pretty close. It's just
yeah. No. Again, but I think different level of competition there. Miles Johns, I think, is a different fighter. You know what you're going to get from him. Nothing really on the feet, but I mean, some on the feet, just winging overhands and winging power shots. But again, Castaneda had to deal with a lot more with somebody like Daniel Marcos, who has accurate striking, and he showed that obviously. Kicked the shit out of his legs. Was constantly just landing the jab and making him think and just piecing him up, really just piecing him up. And there's no shame in that because honestly, I thought it was a close fight for some of those rounds. But listen, Castaneda, he's younger, like you said, way younger, way more endurance at this stage in his career. Later in the fight, you got to trust him to have the more in the gas tank. So I can't trust De Silva de Andrade at this point. I mean, he's about to turn 40 and he's had a long career. I mean, the durability it's always been there, but I think Castaneda has a lot to exploit his weaknesses right now. So I got to pick Castaneda. Yeah, no question there.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on. Next fight on the card, we've got Ricardo Ramos, Chepe Mariscal. There's a reason Mariscal is a big favorite. Ramos, not great cardio. Striking, not the best. Looked actually pretty shitty in that fight against Josh Kulabau. His grappling looked good, but his cardio looked fucking. I mean, his striking looked like much worse than we've seen in the past. Kind of really just has that spinning elbow. His fight IQ is also some of the worst I've ever seen. Like he got subbed by Jourdain, dived right in Jourdain's guillotine. Knowing Arosa has an incredible guillotine, he should have not done that again. And he literally did the exact same thing, jumped right in the guillotine. I don't think Mariscal wins this fight by guillotine, but I think Mariscal is really good. He's just got fucking gas and cardio for fucking days, and he's a beast. One win that really impressed me that a lot of people thought he lost, but I actually scored it to him. I thought it was very, very, very close fight. Was that Morgan Charrier fight? That was a great, that was an incredible fight, man. They went to fucking war. I really feel like he leveled up in that fight. He's only 32. You'd think he was older. He had a very, very long regional career against some very tough guys. Came into the UFC prepared. I don't believe he's lost yet. He beat Trevor Peek. That was a very funny fight. Then was losing to Jack Jenkins very slightly. And then in like an awkward position, Jenkins' arm popped out. It was very sad. I remember I had money on Jenkins. I was fucking pissed. Beat Charrier, great fight. And then beat Damon Jackson, just fucking mauled him. Although he did miss weight in that one. I think there's a reason he's a big favorite. I love him as a parlay piece. He's minus 400. I'm parlaying him up. Usually I don't do that a lot anymore, but I'm doing it here. There are a few good parlay pieces that I'll get into later. This is the first one. I think Mariscal dominates.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see how Ramos wins this fight. I mean, unless he catches him in a sub in the first round, I think that's his only, or something like that. That's his only option, because if this fight gets any later than the first round, or even in the first round, I think just Chepe Mariscal he's just got so much more heart, so much more endurance, so much more durability. I think everything is on his side in this fight if it gets late, and just in general, to be honest, because Ramos, like you said, the IQ is not there. He makes some dumb decisions in this fight. The Jourdain loss was horrible. And I definitely think that spinning elbow can kind of just, sorry about that banging.
Fuck is that?
Bro, I don't even know
what just happened.
Anyways, he does tend to, pull some tricks out of his bag, but that spinning elbow can oh my God. Do I need to move, bro? Hold on.
I'll talk. No, I won't. You good? Oh, I'm talking. Okay, I'm talking. Okay, it's still going. Yeah, I think Mariscal down. I mean, there's down. You want to just move on? Like, there's really not much.
I really don't have much to add. I do think he just walks through him, and yeah, just he might finish him. Either way, it's gonna be a demolition. They're not making that noise anymore. I think I'm good, but yeah, he's a dog, bro. That's all I gotta say. Check Mariscal, 5 wins in a row, and you wouldn't have picked. I personally wouldn't have picked him against Charrier. I mean, I thought the Damon Jackson one was tough, but man, he cooked him, man. So yeah, he's the pick.
Yeah, he's tough as nails as well, man. Tough as nails, Mariscal is. I don't see a path here for Ramos. They're going again. Okay. All right, let's move on. Next fight on the card, we've got speaking of parlay pieces, Danny Barlow versus Sam Patterson. As I said, there's 3 guys I like big time for parlays, and actually I'm surprised because Barlow minus 305. I think I laid him on DraftKings, and now he's kind of moving down, minus 298 on DraftKings, barely a difference. But I feel like where people are concerned is his last fight against Veterenikov, but he's fought his last 2 fights with a fucking broken arm, which is just insane. Shout out to Barlow, by the way. I made a video about that, him breaking his arms, and he liked the post, so shout out to Danny Barlow. I think that arm is healed, and I think Sam Patterson leaves his chin up in the air, and I think Danny Barlow probably knocks him out within the first minute or two. I think he should be a bigger favorite. I think he's so good. This guy is so fucking good. He's so athletic. He's so quick with his striking is just disgusting. Patterson, like, he's not going to get takedowns here. Barlow's got great cardio as well. He's got not great cardio, but he'll hang in there for all 3 rounds. If Patterson thinks he can get this one late, I don't think so. I think Barlow's legit. I'm praying that arm's healed. I think it is. He's taken 7-8 months since his last fight. He's good. He's good. He's really good. And I think Patterson, did you see that Yanal Ashmouz fight? Ashmouz is about 5'2" and fucking caught him on the chin. If that's happened to you, Barlow's catching him on the chin. Early knockout, Danny Barlow. I love him here.
Yeah, no, there's no other outcome that I see other than Danny Barlow winning this fight by knockout. And it's just because, like you said, the takedowns are going to be so hard to come by for Sam Patterson, because Barlow's got good takedown defense. You got to trust that he's going to be healthy in this fight. And Patterson's approach to getting to those takedowns is just, I'm going to walk with my hands, wide, my head up, my chin up, and just, pray that I can grab a hold of you. that's really his approach. And I think Danny Barlow is a really good striker. He's definitely been working. He knows what to expect. I mean, it's not like you don't know what Sam Patterson's going to try to come in there and do. So I got to trust that he's going to, have the right approach and with the takedown defense, move out of the way of those. And just, bro, he's got power for days in those hands. And Patterson is just so open on the feet. I don't see any other outcome than a Barlow KO. So I'm with you 100%, brother.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I have a lot of high hopes for Barlow. I think he's legit. I want to see them push. I want to see he's a welterweight. I think he can make a fucking run right now as long as he can stay healthy. Stop fighting with a broken arm. I remember I put him in a parlay, and after that Vetorenikov, fuck, that name is so difficult. And speaking of him, he like pushed his
yeah, he sucks.
Pushed his opponent. That's fine. He sucks. Although I think his striking's good. It's just his grappling is just not.
Yeah,
that's besides the point. Barlow, man, I think he's legit. I just hope he fights healthy. I remember after that Vetorenikov win, he went on Twitter saying, "Oh, I fought with a broken arm, but I had to get that money." I hope he's not doing that here. I hope he's really take this time off to heal. And yeah, I think if he's 75% here, I think he still sparks Sam Patterson. I like him a lot. Let's move on. Next fight. How many fights do we have left? Only 5. Jesus Christ, we're going fast. Next fight, William Gomi, Haider Emil. Interesting fight. Actually, Roman, I remember I cashed big time on Haider Emil at like plus 200 in this last fight. That made no sense to me. We've seen Jung Young Lee slow down in the past, and it wasn't even like a cardio type win. But Emil just fucking pressured him off rip, sparked him. It was crazy. This guy, he's also got some great chain wrestling. Showed it off in that Fernie Garcia fight. His pressure and pace is legit. And I think he's going to try to take Gomi down here a lot, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it a lot because we saw Brito do it a lot and Brito lost. And I think Gomi's going to be able to stand the outside, avoid the pressure of Emil. Emil, he's sloppy, but he's got a lot of pressure pace, but I just think on the feet, Gomi's going to be – Emil's fast, but I think Gomi is just one of the fastest strikers in the UFC. Honestly, might be one of the fast – pound for pound might be the fastest striker in the UFC. He's lightning fast with those lead leg kicks and the 1-2s. He's a boring striker to watch, but he's super quick. And actually, a lot of people thought Brito won that fight. I thought Gomi won. I did think Gomi won that fight. I know they were in France. People were saying robbery. I thought Gomi won. I really did. I think he's going to be too quick. I think Emil's going to try to wrestle, but I think Gomi, that's all he really has to work on, just that takedown defense, getting off the fence. Curious where the line is. He's come down a little bit, actually, minus 185. I don't mind that. Bet online has been at minus 185. I don't mind that at all. Want to do a little bit more tape. I want to watch that Brito fight one more time, but it was a good win. It was a good win there. I like Gomi. Emil. Shout out to Emil. Made me a lot of money, but I got to go Gomi.
Yeah. It's a little tough, but yeah, I feel like a lot of people love to discredit William Gomi. They think he's just, he can be boring, but like you said, he's so fast, and his reflexes on the feet are just really second to none, and it's crazy to watch sometimes. And I just do think that the takedown defense, he's come a long way. By the way, he's in that. I just came across this randomly, bro. I watched this like Netflix series or that movie that came. No, it was a series. It was like a 6-part series that it was like this French MMA show, and it had like every single French UFC fighter on the roster in that fucking show. And I know for a fact he was in that shit. It was so funny, bro.
What was the show about?
It was about this like French guy that was just trying to make it as an MMA fighter, and it was just like a very generic follow the come of age.
Did he make it?
Huh?
Did he make it?
He made it. But it was.
What's his name? What's his name?
What the fighter's name in the movie?
Yeah, the fighter.
No, Gomi wasn't the dude.
No, I know. But what was the fighter's name?
I forgot, bro. I watched it like months and months ago. But bro, he was in it. Lapalooza was in it. Gon was in it.
Lapalooza. I love Lapalooza. Another good.
But anyways, let me get back to it. I think William Gomis, he does have some boring fights, and obviously his volume is not always on 100. But I do think in this fight, he knows what to expect from Haider Emil, who's just always pressure, pace, come forward in your face 100% of the time. And he's pretty much prepared for that in a lot of his past fights. Joe Anderson Brito kind of fights like that. A lot of the guys he's had to deal with in the past fight like that, and he's found a way to avoid a lot of those exchanges, those phone booth exchanges where he gets caught. He doesn't really put himself in those positions because his footwork is so good. He's able to get out of the way of the big shots. Yanis Gamori, no, that's not. I'm not holding any value in that win. But Jarno Aaron's, that's somebody that throws with a lot of heat. Was able to do that. So look, I do think that stylistically, this is a tough fight to call because at the end of the day, you mentioned Haider Emil's chain wrestling, and if he's able to somehow wear on Gomis and get in late and somehow drag him to the ground, we haven't really seen Gomis off of his back too many times in his stint in the UFC. So that'll be something to look forward to if it does happen. But it's a big if it does happen, because I think if it's on the feet, which is the more likely outcome, then Gomis is probably just going to be in his element because he's dealt with strikers that are coming forward at him, throwing wild shots in a lot of his fights, and he's always found a way to deal with that by just being the smarter guy and picking his shots well. So, I mean, I could see a decision, a robbery maybe on either side, a close fight either way, but I think the safer choice is Gomis, so I'll side with him as well.
Yeah, have we on all favorites? That kind of sucks.
No. We disagreed on a few, so we couldn't.
Oh, I picked Almeida.
Wait, did I pick? No, because what was the
got all favorites? Although that Johnson Temerov was like it's
yeah. Johnson's an underdog, right?
No, that's dead even.
Okay, that makes sense too for that.
Johnson opened as a dog, I believe, but now it's dead even.
Gotcha.
Okay, next one. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today. Not a lot of fights. What was it? This is 11, 12? Still.
Yeah,
some fights, there's not a lot to say, These are our genuine breakdowns. Don't worry, guys. Next fight, we've got a heavyweight fight. Austin Lane versus Mario Pinto. Pinto making his debut. Pinto, I think, is legit. I think this is a legit heavyweight. Only 26, going on 27. And first, let me start with Austin Lane, then we'll get into Pinto. Austin Lane, I think he just got so lucky in that last fight with Despain. Despain just has zero wrestling whatsoever. Got him down, held him down, didn't really do anything on the ground. That's it. Got knocked out by Jonathan Dees. Held Jonathan Dees down for a round. Good on him. As soon as it hit the feet, it was game over. Tafa fight got sparked, and of course that bullshit no contest. I don't think he's good at all. Anybody that has any sort of grappling is going to be able to stop this guy. Pinto has more than that. Pinto, I think he's just really good everywhere. He's got a good ground game, which he didn't show in the Contender Series because he had a beautiful knockout. I don't know if you watched it. It was just like a clean left hook. Just tapped it. Done. Out. It was a beautiful knockout. That opponent, too, wasn't bad. Lucas Camacho had some wins in LFA. It was a good win. Yeah, I think Pinto's going to be able to piece him up on the feet. And Austin Lane, I mean, he's going to shoot some takedowns in the first. And if he's not out, he's just going to tire out. And I think there is no path to victory for Austin Lane. I just don't see how he wins this fight. Another parlay piece, Pinto. This one's definitely going up. I think he's near minus 500. Yeah, minus 450. Yeah, I think he smashes Lane.
Yeah, I've just never been impressed with Austin Lane in any of his fights. It goes back to I mean, him fighting Tafa, and I mean, yeah, he fought nobody really before that, but the Tafa fight, you could tell what was coming like 2 minutes before it happened, and it happened fucking 1 minute in the round two. I mean, in the round one. It's so obvious that he has no striking, man. His chin is in the air. He has no instincts on the feet. And I just think somebody that's actually competent and more than competent on the ground, just everywhere. He's very put together. I think is just going to beat Austin Lane. Like everybody that he's fought so far has a one glaring weakness, especially his win over Robelis Despain, who we knew. I mean, everybody betting on that fight or having any sort of stake on that fight knew that Robelis Despain was like a round one or done type of guy and if he gets taken to the ground and has no chance of getting back up, then you're done for. And that's what Austin Lane was able to do. Fortunate for him, but I don't think he has the ability to do that against somebody like Pinto, who, like you said, the Contender Series knockout proved how freaking accurate and powerful he can be. And when you have those two things put together against somebody like Lane, who just doesn't have, I don't know. I don't know what to say about his striking. I hate his striking. And I just think he can catch him on the feet and just do enough to stuff the takedowns and keep it there. So, yeah, the potential for him to hurt Lane is very high, very, very high in this fight. So, I think it's a very safe pick. And yeah, minus 500 is not saying too much, but I mean, there's a lot of juice picks on this card, but I think this is a really safe one.
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for Pinto. He's got a lot of tools, quick hands, great striking, solid grappling. Yeah, looking forward to the future for him. Let's move on. Next one, we've got Nasrat Haqparast versus Esteban Ribovics. This is an interesting fight. This is a very, very interesting fight. I'm going to tell you why this is an interesting fight. Ribovics, first of all, why the fuck are we going from the sphere to the apex? Can we address that first? That's great. He put on, what, was that the fight of the year? I think it was.
It must have been.
He put on the fight of the year in the sphere, no pun intended, because it actually happened. And now he's in the fucking apex. Make it make sense, but here we are. Here's the thing, though. He should not be this big of a favorite. I'm going to pick him to win, but minus 300 is fucking ridiculous. Zellhuber does not have the best durability whatsoever. We've seen him get hurt a few times. I honestly thought Ribovics lost the fight. I did not think he won. I thought he only won round 3. I thought Zellhuber took 1 and 2. I don't think he should be this big of a favorite. Doesn't make sense. And I think Haqparast is very good at staying in the outside and just popping you with that 1-2. With that being said, Ribovics probably will win. It's just this line is just so off. Fucking Ribovics gets closer to minus 400. I am 100% pulling the trigger on Haqparast. And something I'm looking at here is probably the Haqparast spread is probably the play here. Doesn't really get finished. Hasn't gotten finished in the nope. He got knocked out by Dober. I remember that. Not a lot of shame in that whatsoever. At that time, Dober was fucking just sparking everybody. I like Haqparast on the point spread is a good bet here, but Ribovics should get it done. I see this one going the distance though, without doubt in my mind.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. This one's tough, but I was pretty impressed with how Ribovics was able just to weather a lot of the storms. And then, I mean, you could have made a case that the ref could have stopped the fight at one point in that third round where he had Zellhuber. I mean, it was a fucking insane fight. But I mean, the McKinney shot that he knocked him out with, like he's shown, a lot on the feet, I think. But at the same time, I do think that it's fair to say that Haqparast is the cleaner guy. He's a veteran. He's been around for a while. Seen a lot of styles. I remember this fight against Bobby Green. It was a good fight, but he's one that doesn't really stray like from his comfort zone. He just does what he does. He's a pretty generic boxer. He does fight well behind that lead hand. I'll give him that. He mixes it up to the body sometimes. That's very good to see and will help him here. But Ribovics does the same. That's something to say. And the thing is about Haqparast, and this is the biggest thing for me in this fight. He's just been in a lot of heated exchanges against some of his recent opponents. I think like a lot of his fights, he's just ending up in positions where he could get caught with a big shot. And you just don't want to be in a lot of those positions against somebody like Ribovics, who, I mean, we just saw Zellhuber's kind of the same way where he has his chin up there in the air sometimes. But, I mean, I think the last 3 opponents you can't even compare to Esteban Ribovics. Jared Gordon doesn't even fight like that. Jamie Malarkey doesn't fight like that. You can fight the way Haqparast fights and win against these guys easily. Same thing with Landon Quinones. But if you fight somebody like a Dan Hooker who comes forward with heavy shots, King Green who comes forward with heavy shots, then he starts to run.
No fucking way you just called him King, bro. Oh my God.
I'm just reading the thing, bro. I'm reading the thing. Okay, I'm reading Tapology. My bad. I'm not bowing down to King Green. I'm reading his name.
He's bowing down to fucking King Green.
I'm reading his name as it's shown on Tapology. It said King Green. I said, damn.
It is his name. So.
I didn't compute, but yes. But those are the type of guys that have given him a problem in the past. Drew Dober. Man, this guy's been around for fucking ages. What the fuck? Haqparast's been in this shit since 2017. I didn't even realize that, but okay. Man, that puts things into perspective even more, man. I just think a lot of miles on the tread there for Haqparast. I think Ribovics is fresher. He obviously took off shots against Zellhuber, but that's Zellhuber. I was one that held Zellhuber in very high regard up until I saw that, and I still do to a sense. But I just think Ribovics, man, he's gonna have a lot of exchanges in like close quarters. He's gonna be able to land some heavy shots, and the chin's gonna get tested. That's all I'm gonna say. And I think a decision is likely. A finish is possible. So I'm going to say Ribovics is my pick. Yo, by the way, I didn't even look at the lines. Like when I was making my picks earlier, I didn't even look at the lines as I was doing it. So I don't know. I didn't know he was such a big favorite, but I probably would have priced it around like minus 180 for Ripovich, minus one,
Yeah, minus 200. Minus 200.
Yeah. So I don't know, but that's my pick. I'm pretty confident in it, but Packbrass is a vet, so maybe he gets it done by just sticking tough and doing the better work. We'll see. I don't see him finishing him, though, that's for sure. I don't see him finishing Ripovich. So
Yeah, I think this one goes.
Probably. So we'll see, but Ripovich is my pick.
Yeah, I like spread and for it to go on the hack press side. Or for it to go in the spread on the hack press side. But I think Ripovich probably gets it. Just getting overrated though after that last fight in which I thought he lost. But regardless, amazing performance. All right. Oh my god.
This next fight, bro, I don't even know. It's blowing my mind actually that who came to the conclusion that this was a co-main event fight? Like,
okay. Let me say something. Okay. When I first saw that this fight was the co-main event, I said, you know what I said to myself? I said, there is zero fucking way in hell I'm gonna put money on this fight. No way, right? No way. And then I go when I look at the line.
Oh no! Don't tell me you put money on this, bro.
I didn't do it yet, but I may have to put money on fucking Cody Brundage. I might have to put money on Cody fucking Brundage. I might. I might have to.
I don't really have anything to say to that.
Because look, Rohan, I am totally fucking against MMA math in every way, in every shape, in every form. You know I am. But I think Zach Reese is probably top 5 worst fighters in the UFC right now. And just Marquez just got sparked by him. Like, he is done. This guy is done. He's fucking washed. He's cooked. The fact that he's a favorite in this matchup against somebody that's 30, I don't give a fuck if it was you that was fucking 30. I'm putting money on you against Marquez. That's an exaggeration, obviously. Maybe if you were 200 pounds, then I actually would. You do know some MMA, so maybe. I might have to put money on fucking Cody Brundage here. He's looked like shit. I mean, let's keep it a buck. He was getting fucked in the ass by Razak Al Hassan, sold that, turned into a no contest. Actually was like looking okay against Bo Nickel for whatever reason. Like was threw him off one time, but I just think Bo Nickel's overrated. Got finished, whatever. Oh, this is a funny fight. It was getting dominated by Zach, or what was dominating Zach Reese. Zach Reese got him in an armbar, and then he were trying on picking him and just slammed him. Cody Brundage fucking moment right there. The fight against fucking Jacob Malkood again was. Rod, you remember this? We both put money on Brundage by KO plus 2,000. And he was getting fucked up. And then he sold the back of the headshots like he saw do in the Razak fight. Except this time, he got a DQ and fucking it. It was the greatest moment of all time because we both cashed and we were just both so happy. And then he lost to fucking Dubas. He lost to Dubas, dude. He was getting wrestle fucked up. You know what? I'm the only because you really have to look and see how I want to look at his Instagram. I'm gonna look right now as we're here because I feel like you got to check Cody Brundage.
You gotta see what he's up to if he's training.
See what he's up to. What is he doing? We got to see.
He's got a main event coming up. He's got to be training hard.
What is he doing? I don't know, bro. Let's see what he's doing. He's fixing the ceiling. This one. He's down out his friend that is. Oh, they're showing his highlights. Oh, where he knocked out. Who didn't fucking? Oh, Trayshawn Gore. That made me sad. What else? He's a volunteer firefighter. What the fuck?
Bro, I swear he does some shit like that too.
He's got a whiskey now. Apparently, he's training. Looks like he's training. He's on the bike going crazy. Look at him going crazy. He's shadow boxing. Yo,
I don't know if he's taking this fight serious. I'm looking at Julian Marquez Instagram now.
There's somebody who actually made a post on Instagram saying JT Lonting, y'all gonna learn lock of the week Cody fucking Brundage. There's no fight ever, even against my left fucking ball sack, that Cody Brundage is a lock of the week. JT Lyons, delete your account for saying that. But I think I'm gonna have to fucking pick him to win this fight because I think Marquez is cooked. Give me Brundage. That's all I really gonna say. I think he's doing some firefighter work. JT Lyons says the lock of the week. I don't know who the fuck that is, and I don't know why he said it, but give me Brundage plus money. I'm gonna probably put money on this because Marquez is piece of shit. Go ahead.
No, this is very abrupt, and I apologize, but my employer is literally like,
I gotta go.
Obviously, no, I do literally have to go. He's saying he has to start this meeting right now.
All right, get your final word in on Cody Brundage.
My final words are: this fight is a joke. If you're betting on this, call the number. My pick is Brundage, and for the main event, Asu Almabayev, he has all the tools to finish, not to finish, but to give Manel Kape problems if he doesn't show up motivated. But a motivated Manel Kape, somebody who wants to show up and actually prove himself in a main event spot, I think he wins this fight just based on doing the better work on the feet. So I'm going to pick Manel Kape, not with a lot of confidence. I love you all. I'm sorry. I'll see you soon. I got to go. Peace out, bro.
Bye. See you later. See ya. He's gone. Now it's just me. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to find a replacement for this main event. Yeah, okay, it's just me. Fuck. Okay, yeah, I mean, Cody Brundage, fucking Marquez. I don't really know what the fuck to say besides this line is off. I'm by myself. It's so fucking weird. He's gone. His employer needed him. We've got one fight left, and it's fucking Kape Almabayev. I guess we'll get into that right here, right now. I'm trying to see if any one of my buddies want to hop on and talk about this fight. I'm sorry if this is boring. But for now, I guess I'll just hop right into it because I do have a lot to say about this main event, actually. It is very, very, very interesting. It is. I guess we could talk about last week's card in the meantime. It was a fucking banger prelims, absolutely banger prelims. And then in the main card, it kind of slowed down, but my lock was Anthony Hernandez in the fight to go over 1.5 rounds, and that was just a beautiful bet. And then boxing as well. You know, we actually ended up going negative on UFC. Even with that lock cashing, because I put like the over 2.5 rounds in the Basharat fight in like a big parlay. And of course, Simone knocks this dude out for the first time in his career. It was just, I did not see that coming. But boxing, thankfully, boxing made it back earlier in the day. Shout out Dimitri Bivol and shout out Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker was like minus 160 against what's his fucking name? He was minus 160 against this dude Bacoli, who had stepped in on a day's notice and took like five connecting flights to get to Saudi. And for some reason, Parker was only minus 160. I don't care if Parker was me. I'm taking me at minus 160 against the guy who's taking fucking 10 connected flights to get to Saudi Arabia a day before the fight with no training whatsoever and who was fat and out of shape. And then Bivol, shout out Dimitri Bivol. I love him. One of my favorite boxers right now. But that's besides the point. I don't think I'm going to be able to get anybody else here. So it might have to just be me. It might have to just be me. I think it's just going to be me here. It's going to be me. Okay. Boom. Main event. Manel Kape. Asu Almabayev. No Rohan. Just me. This is a weird fucking fight. This is a weird fight. This is a very, very weird fight. First of all, let me say I'm one of the few that think Manel Kape actually won that fight against Makayev. Makayev did zero damage in that fight. Kape came in with 1-2. Kape also broke his toe in that fight. So I think Kape, not only is he better than what that fight showed, but I thought he actually won that fight. There was that fight against Bruno Silva, which it probably impressed a lot of people, and it made me money. He cashed in that round 3 prop for me, which was absolutely fucking electric. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Manel Kape. It was scary. It was scary, that Makayev fight. Whenever he fights a grappler, take Almabayev here, he just goes so low volume. Like, he'll have banger fights with guys that aren't that good and that are willing to stand with him. But as soon as he sees like some grappling threat, he just fucking freezes. But here's the thing. If this was a 3-round fight, nuking this money line. I'm nuking, absolutely fucking nuking, what's his fucking name? Almabayev here. I'm nuking him. Taking him big time. But I don't know. I don't know if I can do that here. I don't know if I can take Almabayev, just because Kape has 5 rounds this time. 5 rounds going to be big for Kape to just out damage Almabayev. I think Almabayev's going to be able to hold this guy down, but fucking Kape is just a ball of energy. I think he's going to keep getting up. He's also got great cardio. It's just I don't want him to be low volume. I want him to be aware of the takedown like he did against Makayev, but at the same time, I want him to throw those fucking hands even when there's a grappling threat. I don't want him to just fucking put up striking records against guys like Bruno Silva who are going to stand there and trade. I need more from Kape, man, and this is good. This is a big spot for him. This is a big spot. This is going to show us a lot about Manel Kape if he's really ready for a guy like Pantoja. We saw that fight before. Again, he just goes super low volume. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I want to see him let his hands go. If he gets taken down, he gets fucking taken down. Then he gets right back up. It's a tough fight to call. It's a tough one. And I honestly think that the line is off. I don't think Kape should be minus 200. But I'm gonna pick him to win. Again, line off. Kape, he has 5 rounds. It's key. The 5 rounds is going to be big because honestly, I see a situation in which Almabayev's taking this fight on short notice and he slows down in round 4, round 5, but wins 2-1. Wins the first 3 rounds 2-1. And if it's a 3-round fight, he wins. But it's a 5-round fight, which is why the line makes a little bit more sense. But again, I just don't agree. I'd line it around Kape minus 140 because we just haven't seen Kape let his hands go against a grappler. And Almabayev's legit on the ground. I mean, he faced a resistance per se in the first time of his entire UFC career against Nicolau. Nicolau actually looked solid in that fight. Takedown defense was on point. Fight on the feet, striking was very close. But again, dominated Jose Johnson, dominated Vergara, dominated Osborne. Only 4 fights in the UFC. This guy's good. On the feet, I just think it's a wash. If Kape will just let his fucking hands go. And I'd say that this fight is up to Manel Kape. It's up to him. Try saying you should take phone calls. I would 100% do that, but it'd have to be earlier than right now because I think that's all I really got to say about this card. Thank you guys very much. That's all we really have. Sorry Rohan had to go, but still broken on everything. Under an hour, which is good. We kept it kind of short this time. Not a lot to say about certain fights, like those women fights. Montana de la Rosa, Andrea Lee, just those fights that just what other sports are going on Saturday? Basketball, fucking tennis. I'm a big tennis guy. I'll probably watch some tennis. But yeah, for now, that's all I've got. We appreciate you guys very much. Make sure you check out all of our socials. Link in the bio of this live stream or link in the description of this live stream. Also, if you want to make some fucking money betting on the UFC, we've got a bunch of units online for this week. And another thing that I stress big time with our betting group is that we place a lot of future bets and beat a lot of lines. And that's very key when you're betting on the sport of MMA. But for now, that's all I've got. Cue the outro music. Adios, people. We'll see you guys next week for another breakdown. Follow us on all socials. It's been fun. It's been Lucas and Rohan from about 5 minutes ago. Adios.